Good morning, everyone, team. Let us start our session for today. So in yesterday's session, as we had a demo in yesterday, we talked about the Fusion applications overview, and also we discussed the on-premise and the cloud deployment options. And then we have seen what is the architecture of the Fusion applications, like what are the middleware components that were used for building the Oracle Fusion application and its function. And also we had a discussion on what are the releases that the Oracle has given in this application as well. And also what is the current and the latest version, like quarterly, how the updates will happen, what will be the sequence that Oracle will follow for giving the update codes to that update. And then we talk about the modules that which are available in the Fusion environment as well. So today, let us start the session. The regular sessions will be starting from today. So let us start with the topic of structures in the Fusion application. So today we will take the topic called structures in Fusion HCM. So this part basically covers in the core HR module. Whatever the structures that you are seeing on the screen, the organization structure and the workforce structures. These are part of core HR module. So in the Fusion application, we are having two types of structures. One is organization and the second one is workforce. This organization we can call as enterprise structure as well. Okay. So what we will have in this enterprise structure or organization structure in the Fusion HCM, we will have enterprise, divisions, legal entities, and business units. So now we will take the scenario of one of the company and we will understand what is meant by enterprise, what is division, or what is a legal entity, and what is business unit. So let me go to the spreadsheet, okay? And then let us pick up the blank spreadsheet and we will see. So everyone know Tata company, right? Everyone know Tata company. So let us pick up the example of that company and we will understand the organization structure in the Fusion application. So the top level in the Fusion applications is enterprise. Enterprise is the top level organization structure. So what is enterprise? If you take the Tata company, let me go and search for the company called Tata Group. Okay. If I go to this Tata Group, so what is this group denoting here? Does it a company? No. This is the ultimate holding authority. We can say ultimate holding company for the entire Tata Group or the entire Tata Industries. Under the Tata Group, there will be subsidiaries which will be working under Tata Group, like Tata Chemicals, Tata Communications, or TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, or Consumer Products, Tata Motors, etc. But what is this Tata Group then? We will call the enterprise as the ultimate holding company, or we can say the mother holding company of the group. So we can say enterprise in the Fusion system as a logical top level assumed entity. What is that enterprise? Logical top level assumed entity. So in this scenario of Tata Group, this Tata Group will be the enterprise, the top level assumed entity. We can say it is a mother holding company. Under this Tata Group, all the companies of Tata will be flourished. These are all the companies under this Tata Group. Like that only you can take the Reliance Industries. Reliance Industries at the top is the enterprise, or it is a group, or it is a mother holding company. Under that, you can see all the companies of Reliance, like Reliance Retail, Reliance Telecom, or Reliance Jio. All these companies will be under that group. So here also, this Tata Group, we can take it as enterprise. We can take it as enterprise. Understand? And then under enterprise, we will have divisions in the Fusion system. What we will have? We will have divisions in the Fusion system. So what are divisions? Let's suppose this Tata Group is having presence across the globe. This Tata Group is having presence across the globe. Means what? They are in India, okay? They are in United States, okay? And they are in Europe. Even they are having presence in Europe, or also I can say UK, okay? I can say United Kingdom. So what is this? This Tata Group is having their business exist in India, United States, as well as in United Kingdom. So I can make these regional specific things as a divisions in the Fusion system. So what I will do, I will create them as Tata India division, okay? Tata India division, and then Tata US division, okay, and then Tata UK division. Okay. So divisions can be categorized upon the location specific, I mean like the region wise, or else the business functionality wise also we can segregate the divisions. How the business wise? Let's here I have defined the divisions for my Tata company depending upon the region they are into. They're in India, United States, as well as in United Kingdom. So I have defined 3 divisions for my Tata group. There is other way how we can define the divisions means depending upon the business that this group is into. They're into IT, they're into manufacturing, they're into automobiles, let's suppose. Then I can have Tata IT division, Tata manufacturing division, and Tata automobile division. It might be both the combination we can use. It might be the region wise specific we can define the divisions, or it might be the business specific wise also we can define the divisions in the system. So after enterprise we will have divisions. Under divisions we will have legal entities in the Fusion system. So what are these legal entities means? So legal entities are nothing but the actual companies of the client. The actual companies of the client. The companies which are legally registered as per the legislation of that respective countries. So let's take the Tata Group. If they want to start any company, they have to do the registration in that respective country as per the company norms and act something respective to that country, right? So that actual companies of the client will be called as legal entities. If I have to say a definition subjective to the Oracle, legal entities are nothing but the companies which will hold the legal, I mean, the business object which will hold certain legal information in that. Means what? Let me take any of the company like TCS I will take, or Tata Motors I will take. When any company is registered in the country, every company will have, see, this is about the Tata Motors Limited thing. So every company will have the CIN number, company identity number, and then there will be the company registration number, correct? So for every company, there will be certain legal information associated with them. So that we will call as legal entities in the Fusion system. The business objects which will hold certain legal information are called as legal entities. Nothing but the client's actual companies. So let's suppose in India, Tata is having 2 companies. Let's assume. What are those? Tata Motors, or TCS, we can say Tata Consultancy Services. Tata Consultancy Services IN, and the second one is Tata Motors. Okay, let's assume there are 2 companies for Tata in India. So I can define these companies as legal entities. Tata Consultancy IN Private Limited, or Tata Motors Private Limited. Okay. And in United States, my Tata is again having Tata Consultancy Services US. US Limited is one company which is operating in United States. And there is one other company called something like Tata Manufacturing, you can say. Manufacturing Limited. Okay. And in UK, there are two other companies which are offering under, which are operating in UK. That is, I can say Tata Aerospace, we can take. Okay. And there is one other company which is operating in US, that is Tata Chemicals. See, there is an enterprise, which is a ultimate holding company at the top. Under that, we are having three divisions, which I defined for my entity, for my client. And under divisions, I am having legal entities. In India, I am having two legal entities. And in United States, I'm having two legal entities. And in UK, I'm having two legal entities. What are these legal entities means? The actual registered companies of my customer or my client, right? And under legal entities, we will have business units. We will have business units. What are these business units? Here, business units can be called as logical entities under the legal entity. Business units can be called as logical entities under under legal entities. So how you can define the business units in the Fusion system? Let's suppose in India, Tata Consultancy is having presence in both north part of the India as well as south part of the India. Let's assume. They are operating in Mumbai and also they are operating in Hyderabad or Chennai. So I want to segregate my business depending upon that region specific. So I can create two business units as Tata Consultancy Services North BU. Okay, North Business Unit, and Tata Consultancy Services South BU. South BU. So depending, again, we can categorize the business units depending upon the region or else depending upon the business functionality wise. So here I have taken the region wise. So this company is having their operations in north and south. So I want the operations to be divided depending upon the areas. So I have created North Business Unit for my consultancy and also South BU as one business unit. And if I pick up my Tata Motors, in Tata Motors, I am having three business units. How? Like Tata Sales BU, because it is a automobile industry, right? So Tata Sales BU, Tata Manufacturing BU, and one more I will create as we can say Tata Advertising BU, I can say, or not advertising. We can take any other activity which in the motors we can, or Tata Retail BU, I can say. Tata Retail BU. See here, for Tata Motors, how I created my business unit depending upon the functionality of that business. Sales BU, manufacturing BU, retail BU. So under Tata Motors, their business operations were carried out within these criteria: sales activities, manufacturing activities, and retail activities. So I have created the business units for this company depending upon the business activities. Here I have picked up the region specific. So once we going for an implementation to the client, okay, we have to understand the client's existing business structure. How the client's existing business structure is there. What is the top ultimate company of the client or the ultimate group of the client? Under that, in which are all the places the client is operating? And then how many companies that client is legally registered for doing the business. So these are the companies I'm having under divisions. Under legal entities, then I have to identify the business units for my client. Okay, whether it is a region specific or whether it is a business functionality specific. Understand? So similar way for consultancy services also, you can define the business unit. So for Tata Consultancy Services US, I'm having only one BU with the same name because they are carrying entire operations only under one category only. They don't want to have multiple business unit concept, so they are going with only one BU. Here also, even in the manufacturing, they are having only one business unit concept. Then we can go with one business unit. So it is up to the requirement of the client's business. We have to define the business units or legal entities, divisions or enterprise for the client. Under business unit, we will have departments. Under business unit, we will have departments. So we know, right, every organization will perform their functionalities or businesses in the form of departments. So under business unit of sales, I'm having the department like, I can say sales department, okay. And then I can say, whatever to say, anything like a HR department also is having under that for recruiting the people. Under then I'm having that one more called maintenance department. Okay. So you can create what are the departments that customer is having under the business units. Okay. So this is what the organization structure in the Fusion environment, starting with the enterprise, divisions, legal entities, business units, and departments. Here, one important thing we have to understand is the divisions concept is not mandatory in the system. Like if you want to create the business units in, division, when you're creating the organization structure for your client, this divisions concept can be negligible because nowhere in the system we will be using the concept of divisions. Like let's suppose when I'm hiring a new employee in the system, I have to give the legal entity information. In which company I'm hiring the employee and what is the business unit I'm hiring and what is the department I'm hiring. Enterprise at the top level will give its services for all the components in the system. But whereas divisions, nowhere we are going to use the divisions in the system. Just when we defining the structure, then we can create. But in the coming usages, we will not use anywhere the divisions concept. So this is not mandatory in the system to create. Okay. But business units, this is an important interview question, we can mark it. Our business units are mandatory in the system. Our business units are mandatory in the system. Can't I have legal entities and after legal entities I want departments? I don't want business units. Will it be possible in the Fusion system? No. Business units are mandatory in the Fusion application. Why means, now we have talked about the concept of organization structure. What are the different organization levels in the Fusion application we have seen. So in the slide, I have shown you one more structure called workforce structures. There are total 5 objects in the workforce structures, that is job, location, grade, department, and positions. These 5 together we will call as workforce structures. And all these workforce structures will be mapped with the business units. All these workforce structures will be mapped with the business units. That's why business units are mandatory in the system. If anyone asks me a question, our BUs are mandatory, we have to tell yes, and we have to justify stating that all the workforce structures are mapped with the business unit. That's why business units are mandatory. What are workforce structures? What is meant by job? What is position? What is grade? And how to link with business unit? By linking with business unit, what we will get in the front end when hiring the employee, that we will cover in the coming classes. Okay, but understand the concept of business unit, why it is important in the system. Now, when we were talking about the legal entities, we have to talk about three more concepts called legal employer, okay, legal employer, and then payroll statutory unit, and then LDG, legislative data group. We have to get familiarized with these three concepts as well when we're talking about the concept of legal entities in the system. So what are these three concepts? Okay, legal employer. What is this legal employer means? So legal entities, I told, these are the actual registered companies of the client, which is holding certain legal information related to that companies, correct? Legal employer in the Fusion system means the company which can hire the employee. What? The company which can hire the employee in the system. That is called a legal employer. Okay. Payroll statutory unit. What is this meaning? The company which is responsible of processing the salaries and maintaining the taxes of the employees. That is called payroll statutory unit. What is PSU means? The company which will manage the processing of salaries and also maintaining the taxes on behalf of employees. That is called payroll statutory unit. And the third one is legislative data group, LDG we will call. This is the localized payroll partition. Means what? In the Fusion application, for certain countries, the predefined functionalities are given by Oracle, like countries like UK, United States, some part of India, and Saudi Arabia, China, Canada. For all these countries, wherever the Oracle market is good, the predefined payroll related functionalities are already configured in the system. What functionalities means? The taxation components. Okay, the taxation components like income tax, provident fund, ESI in India. If you take United States, the federal income tax, okay, and tax withholdings respective to US, and UK, if I take NI liable, NI payments, all these things. For calculation of all these things, the standard components were already configured in the system. So LDGs, we will call it as localized payroll partitions. So whenever we are creating the legal entities, we have to provide these three informations for each of our legal entity. Let's suppose I'm creating Tata Consultancy India Private Limited in the system as a legal entity. At that time, I have to provide these three informations related to this company. What is the legal employer of this company? What is the payroll statutory unit of this company? And what is the LDG of this company? So how system will know this Tata Consultancy is in India, or Tata Motors is in India, or Tata Manufacturing is in United States? So LDGs are assigned to our legal entities. So for Indian companies, I will assign Indian LDG, India Legislative Data Group. For United States companies, I will assign US Legislative Data Group. And for UK, I will attach UK LDG. These legislative data groups are predefined in the system. Oracle has delivered LDGs for each of the countries. You can make use of them when you're creating the legal entities in the system. So the moment you attach the Indian LDG to these companies, then obviously system will understand this is part of India and we have to give the Indian respective regulations to this respective company. And for United States, the similar way. So the ideal thing you can take it as granted is, if your client is having presence in multiple countries, then you have to create that respective LDGs in the system. For India, India LDG. For United States LDG. Okay. So whenever I am creating a legal entity, one more thing we have to take it as granted. Every legal entity in the system by default will be a legal employer. Whenever I'm creating a legal entity, I will get a checkbox for this legal employer option. I have to give the checkbox because ultimately people will be hired in the legal employees. So every legal entity by default will become the legal employer. What is the rule? Every legal entity by default is a legal employer. But payroll statutory unit can be differs. Let's suppose my client is having a requirement that two companies are there in India. One is Tata Consultancy and the second one is Tata Motors. My client is telling for the employees of Tata Consultancy, it himself will pay salaries. Tata Consultancy only will pay salaries to its employees. But for the employees of Tata Motors also, this TCS is going to pay the salaries. Understand the logic here. Two companies are there in India. So this TCS is going to pay salaries to their employees. Fine. That is a legal entity, legal employer, and also it is a PSU. So it itself will pay the salaries to its employees. But my client is telling for Tata Motor Company also, for all the employees in Tata Motors, this TCS only going to pay salary for them as well. I'm not having the payroll functionalities or payroll wing in my Tata Motors. Consultancy is going to take care of processing the salary for employees in the Tata Motors. So at that time, this payroll statutory unit will play the crucial role. When you're creating this Tata Consultancy Services as a legal entity in the system, you will define it as a legal employer and you will define it as a payroll statutory unit and you will attach the LDG to this legal entity PSU. Okay. But when you're creating the Tata Motors Private Limited legal entity in the system, you will make it as a legal employer only. Just PSU, you will make TCS as a PSU to the Tata Motors. You will make this TCS as a payroll statutory unit to your Tata Motors because your Tata Motors is not going to handle the payroll activities of the employees. So when you're creating this legal entity, you will make the TCS as a PSU to the Tata Motors. So this company is going to pay salaries for these employees as well. So we will understand in detail once we start configuring the system. You can get a clear picture of how these functionalities are going to be workable when we creating the legal entities in the system. So this is about the organization structure in the Fusion application. Ultimate holding, mother holding group will be at the top and we can say it is a top level assumed entity and divisions followed by and then legal entities followed by divisions, business units and departments finally. This is what the organization structure. So moving on to the system, let us see how the Oracle Fusion application looks like and how to log in into the system. And we will see some basic functionalities in the application in the today's session. Okay. So let me close this one. So whenever a client subscribes the license from the Oracle, as it is a cloud-based application, he will get only this URL. Only URL. This is what the cloud product is. He will get the URL with the user ID and the password. Okay. So by making use of that user ID and password, we can log in into the system and we can create multiple users, more employee users for using the application. So we will call this as URL or we can call this as environment. Okay. Or the third name is instance and the fourth name for this will be pod, platform on demand. Okay. As it is a cloud-based application, we can call it as platform on demand. Okay. So this URL will be called as either instance, environment, POD, platform or platform on demand, or you can call it as a generic language like URL kind of thing as well. Okay. So here you will have the sign in option available, which you will be asked to give the user ID and password. Click on confirm. Then it will be prompted to ask the user ID and the password. So this is my user ID, HCM_IMPL, and this is my password. So I'm clicking on sign in. Now I will be logged in into the Fusion HCM Cloud application. So this is how the application looks in the system. Okay. So what it is showing me, good morning HCM_IMPL. Why I logged in with this respective user. If you log in from your user, then you will get your username here, right? And then we will talk about some functionalities, basic functionalities in this. So here you are seeing certain things here, sales, service. If I click on service, there are something. Under me, you are having certain functionalities here. My client groups is there some functionalities. We will call this section, this entire section, we will call it as Springboard in the Fusion system. What is it is? Springboard. Okay. So here we will have different functionalities and different sub functionalities under them. Okay. There is my client groups and there are several things. New person where I can hire an employee. Person management where I can search for the employees in the system, and the absences, time card entries, goals, performance, talent review, profiles, and the payroll related things. There are a lot of sub functionalities available under each functional areas in the system. Okay, this area will be called as Springboard, and here you can have a logo of your client as well. This is a demo instance. You are having a Vision Oracle's given a logo here. Here we can keep your company's logo as well. And here you are seeing 3 lines here. This will be called as Navigator. See, Navigator. If I click on this, I can see several functionalities available. What are all these things? Whatever you are seeing on the Springboard in the horizontal way, the same functionalities you will see in the Navigator in the vertical way. See, sales, service, me, procurement. See here, sales, service, me, procurement. If I expand this section, I can see the sub functionalities under that functional area. Workspace, activities. See, that's what I'm seeing. Workspace, activities, deal registrations, leads. So either you can go from the Springboard or you can use the Navigator. It's up to your convenience how you are going to use the system. Okay. So this is what about the Springboard and the navigation. And then in the, let's suppose I am selecting some section area called my client groups, functional area, my client groups I have selected. So here I'm able to see some quick actions. What is this quick actions? Let's suppose for hiring an employee in the Fusion application, we have to come to my client groups and we have to go to new person. Okay. The regular way I'm telling, we have to go to new person, and in the new person section, we will have different tasks to perform. For hiring an employee, I have to click on this hire an employee and the page will navigate for hiring screen of the person. Now I am on the hiring screen of the person. But rather than coming to the new person and again selecting the hire an employee, we will be having a quick actions which will be defined here in the left sidebar. My client groups, if I select, what are the quick actions we are having under my client groups? Means what? In new person, how many tasks I have seen? Hire an employee, add a contingent worker, add a pending worker, all the actions I have seen. Either getting into this and going to the hire an employee, here immediately we are having a quick action to perform that setup, hire an employee. If I click on this, then my page will open for hiring the new person in the system. Okay, for hiring an employee, the task. So for every functionalities, specific functional areas, whatever the internal task in each of these things, you will get in the quick actions. See, if I go to the absences functional area here, there are certain tasks which I have to perform in the absence administration. Like see absence reasons, certifications, plans, types, categories, Okay, derived factors, certain things are there. So I can find the same tasks, whatever available within the absence administration here in the quick actions as well. So come down, you have to go to show more. So this is the new person. Under new person, whatever the task will be having in that, you can see in the quick actions. And then for employment, compensation. And somewhere I can see my absences as well. See absences. See absence reasons, absence types, okay, certification, plans, eligibility profiles. These are the things which we have seen here in the absence administration under my client groups, correct? In the absence administration under my client groups. These are the things. So it's up to your convenience how you want to utilize the system. So quick actions are also given or specified by Oracle by default. If you want to make use of them to save your time, you can go directly from the quick actions to perform that task, or else you have to go to that each task and we have to perform that transaction. Okay. So Springboard we understood, Navigator we understood, and the quick actions under each section we understood. So here we will have a functionality called global search. Global search. If I click on this, then my search bar will open up here. So I want to search for, okay, I want to search for any employee here, or I want to search for any task here. Usually all the things will come. Search for the job, like see the date, the details of the employees. So basically this is a global search page where you can search anything from the system. You can search a job, or you can search an employee, or you can search the actions, what you are seeing, promote, transfer, change manager, or hire an employee. Everything either you can search from the global search button as well. Or else if you are familiar where the task will reside, then you will go to that respective functional area and then you will perform that task. Or else you can search from the global search area as well. And then this is the home button. Like whatever the screen we are in, I'm on the hire an employee screen. I want to redirect to my main home page. Then you can click on the home screen to redirect to the home screen here. Okay. And here you will have something called favorite and recent items. So if I click on this, whatever the recent open tasks, you can see here, the recent items. See, these are the recent items which I performed with this user in the system. I went to absence administration, new person, hire an employee, all these things. And you can bookmark certain things as your favorite. So hire an employee action, I used to perform very frequently in the system because I'm a HR. So come to that action, bookmark that one. Okay, here you can click on this under favorite section. If you click on add to favorites, see here your hire an employee will get added in the favorite section. One second, let me select some details and get into the next tab. We will check out what we can perform. These things we will cover anyhow once we hiring the employees. What are these functionalities means? So let me try to make it to add to favorites. So usually it will add to the favorites. Let me check with other tasks if anything I can perform. Yeah, see here. The moment I click on add to favorites, it is asking. So what is this one? The search person task. So you can click on save and close. So here from next time, if you go to the favorites, you can see your search person area here. Okay. So like that, you can add the list of favorites if you want in the system. Whatever the task you are more interested or frequently you are performing, you can make them favorites here. And then here you will have a flag called watch list. So whatever the tasks that you have to perform in the system, that will be coming to you. But in the HCM perspective, you might not have much usability respective to this watch list. Okay. And here you will have the bell icon where all the notifications of yours will be coming and sitting in this bell icon. This is the notifications button. Like if you are a manager and your subordinate applied for a leave, you have to approve that leave. Then you can check here in the bell icon. If I click on the bell icon, I can see like this. This is something related to the quick pay. If your subordinate applies the leave, like some employee X applied from this date to this date, approve and reject. If he approves, then only that leave will get approved for that subordinate. If he rejects, then that leave will be rejected. Not only the absence related thing, whatever the approvals that will be coming are routed to you. Like if any employee's assignment have been changed, or any new employee under you have been hired by the HR, or any employee terminated or resigned from the system. For each and everything, for what are all the things you are responsible to give the approval, all the notifications will come and sit in this bell icon. So from here, you can give your approvals for that respective transactions. And then here we will have the user settings and actions respective to your user. If we click on this, we will call this section as settings and actions. So what we can perform in this settings and actions, personalization respective to your user account. So if I go to this accessibility settings, I can see that basic functionalities, even in our handset, I mean, even in our mobile also, we can see how the screen should be, default mode or the screen reader, means what enlarging of the screen will be there. How the color contrast should be there for the application, standard, high, how the font size should be there, large or medium. So here, one thing we have to understand is whatever the settings you are changing here, it will not impact to other users. This is your respective login, and the preferences of general are setting for your user account, not for everyone who is using this application in your organization. Okay. Whenever this HCM_IMPL login into the system, if we go with the font size as large, for that person only, the font size will show as large. For some other employee, he is logging with his user ID, then the regular system will come. So whatever the settings that you are performing here is respective to the user based. Only for this user account, these settings are going to be workable. This is a general preferences. If you want to do, you can make use of them, or else you can simply skip it as well. And set preferences. What is that set preferences? So there are certain things which will be there, like general preferences. These are not part of HCM. We are not required. It's financials cloud, service or sales cloud. These are not required to HCM. Here some things which we have to talk about in the HCM related perspective. So in the set preferences, you will have under general, regional. You can set up the country or the date format of your system, time format, the numbers, how should be displayed, the currency and the time zone for your logins. Okay. These are self-explanatory things, right? Choosing the nation or the date format, how it should come, the time format, the number format. But one thing we have to understand is the date format and the time format. Whenever you are setting up, you have to be in very careful, because in the business intelligence, I mean the BI reports or OTBI reports, when we writing the query to pull the reports in the system, we will be using certain formats for pulling the date related information or the time related information, correct? So if you are changing the date format here to some date followed, month followed by date and year, but in the BI tool, you have developed a report, and in that report, you inputted the format as year, month and date. So there will be a conflict happen between these two things. System won't understand what format it should pick up. So whatever you are using there, kindly we have to use that similar format in the date and time here in the preferences. Okay. And after general preferences, we will have language. We will have language. So by default, what language I am seeing this application? In the American English, I am seeing this one. By default, the application will come in American English. But if you want to change to any other language, these are the Oracle supported languages for this application: Arabic, Brazilian, Danish, Dutch, Finnish, right? Now, the moment I choose and if I click on save and close, the entire application will change to the Arabic. The general preferences, language, everything will change to the Arabic. If you want to change, you can change from this general preferences. And the current session, obviously, default, if I give Arabic, the current and display also will change to the Arabic only. You can keep the same names for this one as well. Okay. This is language. And then accessibility is something which we have seen already. This one, default mode, screen reader, color contrast, font size. This one can be done directly from this. I mean, this accessibility related things. There is a separate task, or else within the set preference also, we are having the same accessibility settings. From both the ways you can perform this one. And passwords. You click on password. If you want to reset your password to your user account, what is the current password and new password what you want to give, and confirm the password and save and close. You can change your user account password in the system. Okay. So again, this proxies, Oracle Web Center portal, these are the technical items where the integration of VPNs or SSOs kind of will be there. That will be covered in the technical part. Okay. So these are the standard basic functionalities that we can see in the Fusion application. Here, there are certain things: administration, troubleshooting, okay, and there are some hide help icons, certain things. This administration will be serving different purpose in the Fusion application. This edit pages and edit global page template will be used for customizing the system. As I told, I want to change the logo from the Vision to Tata Group, and I want to change or I want to rename these functionalities. Here Oracle has given my client groups. I don't want that name. I want to change that seeded name to some other people group or something, my name, or Tata HR group, I want to rename. So in order to do that customizations, we are having a concept called sandbox in the system. So these two tasks will be worked in that concept for the sandbox. And then the setup and maintenance and manage configurations. We are having a concept called FSM, Functional Setup Manager. Tomorrow we will talk about that one. Means what? Enabling the system for starting the implementation in the for starting the implementation of the application. That is FSM. There will be certain processes which we have to enable in the system for conducting or implementing the solution in the application. So for performing that, you have to go to the setup and maintenance and manage configurations. And we are having a concept called flex fields, descriptive flex fields. So for that, this respective task will be usable. So we will be talking about this each functionalities once we reach to that topics. Okay. Now, if I explain you these things, you will not understand. One by one, once we get into the configurations, then you can understand what is that each option is serving in the system. Okay. Now I want to know what is my latest version of this application, where you have to check what is the latest release of this system that I'm using. In the settings and actions, we will have about this application. Click on about this application, and here you can see what is the latest release of this system. 20B, release 13, okay, release 13, 20B. So yesterday I told you, right, how this logic will be there. Year 2011, 13 release, and 20 is the year, and 4th will be the typically the quarter of the month, like that. Okay. So here in the about this application, you can see what is the latest version of this system in the, latest version of this application. Okay. So if I go to another thing called help icons, something option coming here, hide help icons. What is this? whatever the transaction you are performing in the system, Oracle by default has given the functionalities of question mark coming up in the brown background. What is that? You don't know. Let's suppose, let me go to this one, this screen only. Okay, let's suppose, let me go to this screen. See, basic details is there. There is some question mark coming here. What is this? This is the help icon, enabling of the help and disabling. Now I want to disable this one. I will click on hide help icons. See, those were lost. Nothing. Why that help icons will be there in the system? If I click on show, not only on this hire an employee, any task you take, you will get the question mark with the brown background here. It will suggest or it will give the knowledge of what is this basic details means, what we are going to capture here. See, I will click on this help button. Okay. And here you can see that person records. It will redirect to the docs.oracle.com. So what we are going to perform. Okay. What is the person record information? What you are going to configure, name, date of birth, disability, all these things. So for like this, for each and every section, you will have a help icons available here. If you click on this, then you will get some content available. You can redirect to that and you can study in the Oracle docs what this functionality is going to serve. Okay, even in the national identifiers, if you see, there will be certain things. For hire an employee, that page will redirect to the hire an employee Oracle docs screen. Then you can understand what is hire an employee in the system means, what we are going to do in that respective task. See, what we are going to do, what we are going to provide when we hiring the person, legal employer, hire reason, hire action. A detailed theoretical explanation given by the Oracle in the docs will be redirected. So you can understand what this task means. So this is what the help icon available in the Fusion system. So we can say these are the things which we can discuss for today. And these troubleshooting things we can talk about once we start implementing the system. Because if I discuss now, you will not understand what is that one. Run diagnostic means what, record issue means what, everything. So these topics also we will cover once we start the configurations of the system. So tomorrow we will start with the session with the concept of security. What is meant by security in the Fusion system and how the access will be coming to the person. Now I logged in with this HCM_IMPL. I am able to get access to several things. The sales and service is not part of my HCM, but even then I am getting access to those functionalities here. And the procurement is also not part of HCM, but I'm getting these things. There are certain things, see, the contract management, order management, receivables, supply chain. I'm getting all access in the system. So in tomorrow's session, we will understand why I'm getting all these access to my user and how the security in the Fusion application is going to work. What is meant by RBAC, rules-based access control? What is meant by rules-based access control? How many types of rules are there in the Fusion system? And how to create the user account, how to attach the role. That similar topics related to the security, we will discuss in the tomorrow's session. Okay. So anyone is having any questions in today's session respective to the enterprise structure that we have discussed? I'm unmuting everyone.
It's under that stuff. No, under this by.
Okay. So anyone is having any questions in this enterprise structure or the things that we discussed till now?
Yes, hello.
Yes, hello.
Here, regarding this legal entities and business unit and departments, we said that the business unit is mandatory.
Correct.
What about legal entities and departments?
Legal entities and departments are also mandatory.
Mandatory. And the only thing that it is not mandatory is the division.
Yes, only the division is not mandatory. The rest of all others are important. But why I specified the question business unit means because there is other objects which are associating with this, right? The workforce structures, everything.
Yes, yes.
I pointed more on business unit, but all these are mandatory. Only divisions are not mandatory.
Yes, okay, clear. Are we going to get the sheet and the slides?
Yeah, I will send you Nabil today.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
So tomorrow also you can attend the session, and from Thursday the URL is going to be changed. The meeting ID will be changed. Like whoever coming to the contact and then discussing regarding the enrollment, then we will share you the new details from Thursday. Tomorrow also the same link you can use for joining. From Thursday the new Zoom meeting will be shared for the participants who will be in contact or who are enrolled for this course. Okay. So if anyone who are yet to contact to me, they can contact to me. That Andrew, I think one person who is yet to contact, and AK is one person, I think. So please contact me after this session, then we can have a discussion on this. Okay. Okay, thank you everyone for joining for the session. We will continue the class tomorrow from the security aspects. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.